All right, everything was going smoothly to hear the administration tell it post a 42 world when that 3-year-old policy that has been sort of like the rule of life at the border through 2 administrations was suddenly shelved. But a judge in Florida blocked it, saying there are some big holes here, including people leaving the country or filing to leave the country without any paperwork, without any proof as to an approaching court date or the like. They're trying to change that very, very quickly to get back on track. Easier said than done. Neama Rahmani joins us, the former federal border prosecutor. Neama, thank you for taking the time and maybe explaining some of these legal issues so that it can get through my thick skull. But the issue seemed to be with the judge, wait a minute, is they're leaving without any proof that they're going to return for a court date or any paperwork to that extent. That was what got him, right?
Absolutely, Neil, and I'm concerned as well, but we're talking about 2 separate issues here. As a matter of policy, I disagree with DHS paroling all these migrants into the country, but it's clear as a matter of law, this judge overstepped. The executive branch has a lot of leeway when it comes to making these decisions. We saw it with the Muslim ban in the previous administration. They've appealed to the 11th Circuit, and I fully expect the government to prevail on that appeal.
Assuming you're right, and I've heard other legal authorities say much the same, Neama, they don't have your clout or background in this, but the one thing that I just can't get a handle on is then if they are allowed to come in and be processed without such paperwork, doesn't that essentially mean they can go anywhere that they want? They won't be tracked. So isn't that a real danger that there'll be no way to follow up on those we release into the United States?
It is a danger, Neil. You have thousands of migrants paroled into the country without A numbers, alien registration numbers, without court dates, and you're relying on their good word or maybe GPS, but that's not going to be sufficient. It's the same issues we've dealt with bail reform. When folks are arrested, they're let out into the streets, and these are individuals who have come here for a better life. They spend thousands of dollars, travel for days, weeks, sometimes even months. I don't expect many of them, if any, to actually show up at ICE or appear for their immigration court dates.
Now, there's a separate issue, Neama, with those who are claiming asylum. And if you're lucky, I mean that perversely, to come from one of the countries that is deemed to be the most dangerous. For example, I think Haiti's in that mix, Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela. It's not that you get a get out of jail card, but you get a green card that, again, is not a green card, but you could be among the 30,000 a month we let enter this country via the asylum defense. What do you think of that?
Well, the asylum program is fantastic, but the vast majority of these migrants are coming here for economic reasons, for a better life. They can't meet that high legal standard for asylum, which is a well-founded fear of persecution. And the bigger issue is many of these migrants who are coming from Central and South America, the law requires them to claim asylum in the first country in which they're safe in, and they're not doing that. So whether that be Mexico or some other country, they're not eligible for asylum, and they're using asylum to backdoor some other real legitimate reason why they want to be here.
What if Mexico is saying they did try for asylum here? We didn't grant it to them because we couldn't handle it. Is there a way they could prove that? Is there a way this program allows for stuff like that?
Well, what they should be doing is the DHS is trying, it's really too little too late, to set up programs in these respective countries or in Mexico to process all these asylum claims. They shouldn't be processing them, in El Paso or San Diego or Albuquerque or along the border. I mean, we're already dealing with tens of thousands of people, and these types of applications should be processed in Mexico or should be processed in another country, not along our border.
How do you think all of this is going to go, Neama? We know about the crowds. We know about the very different reports that they're getting. Many who have been told via social media like TikTok and the rest, I believe over 100 million such messages where they're told, whether this is coming from cartels or other groups trying to make money off of this, that the U.S. border is open. The Title 42 is gone. Come on in. What do you think?
Well, Neil, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, and this is how I expect it to play out. Folks are going to try to come to this country believing that they can claim asylum or a border is otherwise open. They're going to be turned away. And guess what? They've already traveled the distance. they're going to try to enter the United States illegally, right? Because they don't have friends or family there in northern Mexico, and they're desperate to get in. And of course, the cartels, they're in the business of making money. And the same methods that are used to traffic drugs into the country, whether it be tunnels or pongo boats, are going to be used to traffic humans. And I fully expect there to be a significant increase in drug cartel trafficking.
Incredible. Neama, thank you for taking the time on a Saturday, no less. Neama Rahmani is the former federal border prosecutor, and a lot of the things he's been outlining have been happening as we speak, and he was pressing enough to see it unfolding just the way it is. Hopefully he proves wrong on this, but sadly, so far not.